What if I told you that the thing you're resisting the most, the unknown, might be the one place you finally feel free? What if the fear that keeps you constantly planning, striving, and perfecting isn't protecting you? It's preventing you from actually living. Because maybe peace doesn't come from having everything figured out. Maybe it comes from surrendering to what you never will. Let's talk about that. Because today isn't about getting answers. It's about finding the courage to be okay without them. Let's be honest. Most of us are addicted to knowing. We want to know what's next, how things will turn out, whether it will be okay. And when we don't know, we spiral. We check the forecast, we reread the text. We scroll endlessly for signs of certainty because not knowing feels like danger. And that makes sense. The unknown pokes holes at every part of us that wants control. And in a world that's constantly shifting, the promise of clarity feels like the only thing we can hold on to. So we chase it. We hustle for it. We make plans, spreadsheets, backup plans to our backup plans. But what if all that effort is quietly exhausting us? What if all that certainty we crave is just an illusion? We've probably been told, just trust the universe. Everything happens for a reason. Or maybe in that moment you nodded, but something in you didn't believe it. Because telling someone to trust the process while they're standing in the dark isn't comfort, it's pressure. It skips the part where being lost actually hurts. The human nervous system is wired to seek safety. And when there's no map, no exit side, no timeline, your body interprets that as a threat. That's why no amount of positive thinking can calm the tightness in your chest where life feels uncertain. Because the fear isn't in your mind, it's in your body. And you can't logic your way out of it. But you can learn to be with it. Here's what we often miss. Our me to know, to control, to predict, and guarantee isn't about ego, it's about safety. We think if we can just know what's coming, I can prepare, I can protect myself. And for many of us, that belief comes from experience. Maybe your childhood was chaotic. Maybe people you trusted were inconsistent. Maybe love was something you had to earn, or fear was something you had to manage alone. So now as an adult, you try to fix uncertainty by eliminating it. You try to plan your way into peace. You try to earn control by never making a mistake. But here's the paradox. The more you grip, the more anxious you become. Because the future is a moving target. You can't ever know it completely. When you're always bracing for what's next, you miss what's there. You miss the tiny moments of quiet joy. The warmth of sunlight on your shoulder, the way someone says your name, the sound of your own breath when everything else is still. You miss the now, trying to guarantee a later that may never come. This doesn't mean you shouldn't plan. It means that life is happening whether you're ready or not. And try to script every outcome keeps you stuck in survival mode instead of actually living. When you stop trying to forge clarity, there's this uncomfortable pause, a silence, a stillness that can feel almost unbearable. Your brain wants to scream, do something, and you don't know why, because part of you believes that motion equals progress. Stillness in this world looks like laziness, like giving up. But stillness isn't the absence of movement, it's the presence of awareness. There's where the real you, underneath all the striving, gets a chance to breathe. Stillness is where transformation begins, but it doesn't look like a breakthrough. It looks like being okay without knowing. Let's be clear, accepting the unknown doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean passivity or apathy. It means releasing the illusion that control was ever the goal. It means choosing to live with curiosity instead of certainty. What if it goes wrong with what if it'll be okay even if it does? It's trusting yourself, not the outcome, and that's the radical shift. Because instead of needing to manipulate your future to feel safe, you start finding safety in your own presence. That's the difference between reacting and responding, between resisting and receiving, between fear and freedom. We don't talk enough about what control costs us. It costs us spontaneity, costs us creativity, it costs us connection. Because when you're always editing your life to avoid pain, you could also cut yourself off from the joy. When you can't say, I don't know, you miss the magic that lives in surprise. When you can't trust the unknown, you live in constant contraction. And contraction keeps your heart small, your voice quiet, your dreams shallow. Freedom lives on the other side of letting go. That letting go of goals, letting go of guarantees. Some of the most meaningful moments in your life, the ones that shaped you, probably didn't happen when everything was clear. They happened when you were uncertain, raw, scared, and honest. Maybe it was after a breakup, or when a job ended, or during a moment when you finally said, "I don't know what I'm doing." And then somehow, without a plan, life continued. You grew, you felt things more deeply, and you became someone you didn't even know you were allowed to be. The unknown didn't destroy you, it revealed you. You'll know you're starting to release the grip of certainty when you feel okay saying, "I'm not sure." You stop over-explaining your decisions, and you make room for silence and conversations. You stop needing to be an expert all the time. You notice more beauty in small things, a flower, a shadow, or a breath. These aren't signs of getting up, they're signs of softening, and softening of strength. Not the kind that flexes, but the kind that feels. Question that might change your life. Can you trust something without needing to prove itself first? Can you trust the next chapter, even if the outline is blank? Can you trust yourself to handle whatever comes, even if you can't name what it is? And if trust isn't built in theory, it's built in stillness. In sitting with the uncertainty, not to solve it, but to feel it. To let the discomfort be a teacher, not a threat. To say, "I'm scared, and I'm still open," that's real courage. There's a quote by Viktor Frankl: "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose." That space? That's the unknown, and it's sacred. Because in that space, we stop reacting from fear. We start choosing from truth. We stop running from not knowing, and we start remembering that we were never supposed to know everything. Freedom doesn't come when you finally figure life out. It comes to you when you stop needing to. You've been told that safety is found in knowing, but maybe freedom is found in accepting that you never really will. Not completely, not always. And that's our failure. It's life. It's what makes love possible, what makes change possible, makes growth beautiful. So breathe, be here. Let yourself soften. Let the fog surround you, and trust that you're not lost. You're just not supposed to see everything yet, because some things are meant to be lived before they are understood. Watch the next video, not for answers, but for space to breathe again.